I don't like that thought at all, where you have to go somewhere to learn marketing.
Okay.
In fact,
Welcome to the fourth episode of the Strategist Show by Harris and Co, bringing together experts from various fields like marketing, content, and design with an aim to connect brilliant minds across the globe. So today we have, I'm so excited for today because in the fourth episode we could bring the marketing shark, I would call. So today we have none other than Deepan Siddhu, rated as top consultant or one of the consistent rated consistent as top digital marketers across the globe, helped over 150 brands generating more than 350 CR in revenue, worked with top companies like Amazon, Reliance, QuickBooks, AirAsia, a lot. To talk about Deepan Sidhu, this podcast enough is not, podcast is not just enough. So welcome to the show, Deepan Sidhu, and thank you so much for accepting this little invite from us.
my pleasure. Thanks for having me, Harris. Super excited.
Great, great, great. So this is what we are going to do. This is not going to be what an interview type thing. I just want it to be a discussion over performance marketing, which you are nailing at. And I've also attended your workshop, and I was also amazed. I also took one of the performance marketing workshop for my agency, and the amount of so like my VP was telling all the other courses we will get 20 minutes 10 minutes snippets, but here each of the courses like 50 minutes 1 hour long, and this is taking a lot of time for me to complete. So that much of value you were providing in this course. So I would just want to start with the audience which we are sharing, like what is performance marketing, like when are you, because there's a lot of trend that's happening, everyone is performance marketers right now, every agency is telling that we do performance marketing. So where it is differentiating, like from when it comes to digital marketing and performance marketing,
Sure, sure.
and
It's a great
that
question
your
to
story
start
also.
with. Yep, yep. So I've been a marketer all my life, right? In fact, I've been a digital marketer, right from the get-go. After my post-graduation, got started as a social media marketer. Then with my interest in the other digital channels, I started exploring everything, paid advertising, SEO, all of that, email marketing. Roughly about 2015, 16 is when, online marketing was maturing. Before that, if you just get traffic to your website, things were great. If you just get likes on your Facebook campaign, if you get some responses on your contest, these were all considered to be a successful KPI, from a marketing campaign perspective, right? But around 2015, 16 is when brands have started realizing that, hey, what are we doing with this money? What is the ROI? I mean, you can't call a Facebook like as an ROI.
Yeah.
Website traffic is great, but what after that? Everybody started questioning about ROI,
Yeah.
and this is the cusp of the birth of performance marketing in India, right?
Mm.
When every brand started questioning about, hey, what exactly is ROI? Does it make sense to do this? And that's what led to the birth of performance marketing. In fact, the company that I was working for at that time, they're one of the pioneers, in making this as a service, whereas every penny that the brand is going to put on it, there is an ROI attached to it, right? There is a common notion that has always existed, that is, performance marketing means when you pay for performance, right? But that's not what performance marketing is. When you pay for performance, when you pay for a lead, when you pay for a sale, that's called affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing has existed since the birth of internet, right? It has always been there, affiliate marketing. But the reason why performance marketing as a discipline had to evolve, it's because, again, every channel, every spends, every penny that has been put on marketing, needed a response, needed an ROI in return, right? And that you can't really look at it. Okay, I'm going to identify like 100 partners, and I'm going to pay them a commission, right? Every time they generate a sale for me. Rather, companies have started looking at marketing as, I'm going to make each of my marketing channel work for the business objectives that I have, right? Whether it be it is an organic channel, be it email, be it SMS, different channels that I use for marketing, right? If I make those marketing channels work to achieve my business objectives, that is what is called performance marketing. Even today, the notion that exists out there in the market is, when you run ads, it's called performance marketing, right? But we come from a completely different school of thought, because running ads alone is not sufficient. There is a reason why running ads is being associated with performance marketing, because the moment you talk about scale today, every brand wants it very quickly, right? And if you want to get results very quickly, paid advertising is the only way for you to get that. If you want to really test the market, generate some results, do some proof of campaign and all of that, you need paid advertising campaigns that can give you traction immediately, so you can test it out there. And hence, paid advertising is usually associated with performance marketing as well. But in my opinion, it's all your marketing channels, specifically online. And I have my bias towards online channel. Not a big fan, and don't have a lot of experience with anything offline as well. So if you make your online marketing channels work to achieve your business objectives, be it organic, be it paid, be it email, be it SMS, be it social media, be it influencer marketing, any of these online marketing channels work to achieve your business objectives. If your business objective is sales, if your business objective is scale, anything, right? If it's employer branding, if it is just branding, you achieve those objectives in a measurable way. That's what is called performance marketing.
Yes, understood. It is not always connected to the revenue you make. It is not always connected to the sales. It's also connected to various other forms, right?
It is, in a way, because survival of a business is dependent on revenue, right? Revenue and the profits that you make. I mean, excluding the modern 1% of the funded businesses out there, the remaining 99% of the businesses in the world, they need revenue and profits to survive, right? In a way, your marketing will have to deliver revenue for you. If the marketing is not delivering revenue for you, you're not probably doing it right. But not everything that you do, not everything marketing has to result in revenue for you, right? So performance marketing is actually the other way around. If you pick up specific activities that is going to have an impact on your revenue, that's going to have an impact on your profit, that's going to have an impact on customer acquisition, right? So that's what is called as performance marketing. So even when you work with an influencer today, right, generally when you work with any influencer, they will say, okay, I'm going to give you 2 posts and 3 Instagram stories, and I'm going to charge you 75,000, right? If you ask them what is ROI, I mean, obviously they won't give you ROI. But if you make the same influencer work in a way, saying that, hey, I'm okay paying this to you, but can you actually promote a coupon code on behalf of me, right? And when you're tracking that coupon code in terms of how many, what is the revenue that is happening, right? And when you're tracking the UTM URLs that the influencer has used to back to your website, right? If you're actually tracking the uptick in the social media following after that, immediately after that influencer campaign, everything that you're doing here is kind of associated revenue, except for maybe the following followers measurement. Everything else that you're doing in terms of measuring UTM traffic on your website, measuring how many sales that the coupon code has got, everything has to do with revenue, right? So even if it is influencer marketing, which is predominantly a branding and engagement channel, even if you make influencer marketing work to generate revenue for you, that in a way is performance marketing to me.
So performance marketing is more data centric. Like you need data to support performance marketing every time you do. Okay. So with that, my next question comes, like, which is the stage where brand have to, for example, so the common funnel which we see right now is that everyone starts with the Facebook ads because they cannot invest both in Facebook and Google together. Maybe small brands. Then when the Facebook ads become the ROs become profitable, then they switch to the Google ads. Then they acquire the next time. So what is the stage we as a business owner starts to think about, or as an agency starts to think about performance marketing, and what is the shift or how that shift should happen?
Got it. In fact, you should start thinking about performance marketing from day one, right? But I totally understand that not every business will have the funds, right? To invest in paid advertising channels, to give them that scale immediately. The funded companies will have. If you're bootstrapped, every penny that you're going to put out there is very valuable, right? But if you have an opportunity, you'll have to think about it from day one. I'm not a big fan of using a single channel from a performance marketing perspective, especially starting with Facebook. I'm totally not a big fan of that, because I mean, yeah, I mean, Facebook is great. It's cheap traffic. It does have the potential to give you or take your business ROAS positive, right? With all the iOS 14 happened today that you can't even measure ROAS properly. Uh, then Facebook becomes a completely wrong choice, right? If your business is completely dependent on Facebook, I know a lot of businesses that are struggling out there today, who were heavily dependent on Facebook. What to do? They've completely gone ROI negative. They don't know how to do the right things, right? I would always propose you to think omni-channel. When I say omni-channel, the first obvious channel that you have to be present is Google. That's where you have to that's where you can get your ready buyers, people who are in the market looking to explore or looking to buy your product. You can find them on Google, right? That should become the ideal channel. I know people say that Google is expensive and Facebook is cheap and all of that. That's not true. You can identify opportunities within Google that are cheap, that can work within your budget. You can actually tell Google that, hey, this is my budget. I don't want to spend more than this. Then why will Google spend more than that, right? And I know people who always want to rank in the number one position. People have this fascination about it. Even when they have lesser budget, hey, I want to be ranking in number one. The moment you get that ego that I want to be ranking in number one in terms of ads, you lose money. Instead, if you're okay with even coming up at the extreme bottom of page number one, but if you're getting like 5, 6 qualified visitors, you should be happy with it. So the moment your mindset is that, hey, I am okay with showing up at the bottom as long as I'm getting a few visitors, because that's all the budget that I have, right? Google has other options, like, Google has something called call only ads, which is you can generate a phone call immediately from the ad itself instead of driving a user to a landing page, getting them to explore your landing page. What if a landing page is broken? All of that stuff is there, and it is very likely common with a small business out there. I would propose, start with call only ads. Have conversations with your customers, right? If you have the phone number of the customer, you can always message them. You can always WhatsApp them. WhatsApp has become a very powerful channel. Instead of doing things at scale, you start building relationship with one customer at a time, right? Treat every click as a prospect. Treat every visit as a prospect. Treat every phone number as a potential customer who is going to give you a lot of revenue. When your mindset works like that, even you will start looking at Google also as a concrete channel. Of course Facebook, but I would actually focus on building a massive database of potential customers, right? Give something of value so that the customer are willing to share their phone numbers and email IDs with you, which you can use for free marketing, right? You have WhatsApp, email, SMS, which doesn't cost you anything. And I have this strong belief that you can never make profits immediately from a customer, except for a few businesses, which is where the ticket size is very high. You have to make profits from the customers eventually. When the customer buys it for the second time and the third time, when the customer buys from you regularly, that's when you start making profits from the customer. Till then, you'll have to only solely focus on delivering extraordinary experience and building great relationship with the customer. The moment you have this kind of a mindset, you'll make any channel work in your favor. And it is not necessarily that you have to start with Facebook, go ROAS positive, then invest in Google. It's a completely incorrect way of testing out channels. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a brilliant thing. I mean, for me also, it's, as an agency owner, it was an eye opener thing. So to consider Google, even we have tried some call ads and all this stuff, and some of which, I mean, the last week only we have tried something called. We started calling each of the customers was abandoned cart, and we have identified that people were abandoning for very silly reasons. Some of them do not know how to do. I mean, COD is there. Some of them do not know that. I mean, we're not able to pay in GPay, and silly reason. So we started identifying that okay, customers, we have to market in a way that we have to be in a mindset that customers do not know anything. We have to guide them from zero to everything. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. So look, internet users are every day there. It's rising, right? You cannot assume to any visitor to be a proficient online shopper. You as a marketer, you would probably know that I have to identify a product, add quantity, add them to the cart, the next is payment gateway, all of that good stuff. The average customer doesn't know, right? And that is a lot of your customers. Same with the landing page with the form on it. I always like telling this to people that, hey, there is a form and it's called a landing page, and the customer is supposed to be filling up the form. What about an average customer? Somebody who is in Pune looking to buy an apartment. Uh, Imagine, it is somebody like your uncle, or maybe, anybody. It could be anybody. It could be someone young as well. It could be someone who is 45, 50 years old. I'm not saying 50-year-old do not know how to use internet, but there is a possibility that, they're not used to be filling up form and expecting a call in return. So always give enough options to customers, right? Whether it is chat, give them a phone number to call. We've been testing a product recently. What it does is, very similar to the product that you just mentioned, right? You can actually identify customers who have abandoned carts, and then Shopify gives you those alerts so you can call those customers. Similarly, we have a plugin on a website which tells, if you want a call back right now, just press this button. That's it, right? So it is more like you can trigger it as a pop-up. So immediately, within 20 seconds with the timer on the website, a call gets connected to an available agent and the customer. We have seen significant improvement in conversion rates with little experiments like this. But the problem with these things, Harris, is you need people, right? And you need to invest in people, and that's going to cost a lot of money, right? So that is why businesses are probably hesitating a little bit. Hey, if I need to be calling my customers, the reason I went online, it's because I don't have to put people to sell to customers, right? So that's a catch-22 situation. You need to have that as well and this as well. I mean, but you cannot expect everybody to be a proficient online shopper and then do the purchases and blame Facebook or Google for not generating results for you. Yeah.
This particular experiment have actually proved us like we are doing a lot of things to bring customer, then we are doing very minute things to when the customer say, what are we doing? No, we are not making any connection with them. So that's an absolute brilliant point you've made, a triggering call back, etc. So my next question is like, what is, suppose if I want to shift my career from a digital marketer to performance marketer, is there any step towards it, or is it you become performance marketer with experience? Or
not like that. I mean, you can start off as a performance marketer as well. Probably I'll answer that question. So as simple as, if you have run ads, even for your personal page, right? If you have run ads, and if you know how to install Google Analytics and how to make sense of numbers on Google Analytics, if you have a little bit of understanding of e-commerce, right? These are things that you can learn easily by watching a few YouTube videos, right? That how do I set up my own e-commerce store? Once I set up my e-commerce store, how do I implement Google Tag Manager? How do I implement Google Analytics? Okay. Once my infrastructure is set, then how do I run ads? How do I do SEO to drive traffic, right? So when you learn all of these one by one, you can even get started as a fresher in any agency or any brands. Do not hire a lot of freshers, but agencies definitely do. Agencies do give them an opportunity for a lot of freshers. You can get started there. Then then increase your proficiency with your ad channels and analytics. More towards numbers in your first 2 years. That you know your dashboards in and out. You know how to identify an error and how to fix it. You know how to optimize your campaigns. You know how to do your reporting, right? Then you increase your or invest in more, developing the creative bent of mind, right? How do I, okay, now that I know these ad channels, I know analytics, I know troubleshooting, right? Then you start thinking strategically. Now, how do I solve problems with the skill set that I have, right? If it is a healthcare business approaching me today, what do they need? How do I find my audience? How do I do my competitor research? How do I position this business? What kind of value can I offer to visitor to increase the conversion rates, right? How do I improve the lead to customer conversion rates? So when you start thinking like that, you become a proficient performance marketer, right? This is for somebody who is starting from scratch. Build your expertise in knowing ad channels in and out, knowing analytics in and out. Then you develop your understanding about business, competition research, value proposition, and stuff like that. Then you build your problem solving mindset. That's exactly what people with even 10, 15 years would do, because they know exactly how to solve a problem, or at least they'll figure out a way to solve that problem. But if you're a digital marketer already, then let's say you're probably be juggling between multiple things, right? You're probably having your hands on SEO, client servicing, social media, literally everything, right? I would probably advise you to spend more than 50% of your time towards paid advertising engagement that you have, right? Be it Google ads, be it Facebook ads, programmatic, anything to do with paid advertising. The reason I also slide towards paid advertising is because the market's understanding is that today, performance marketer is supposed to be a specialist at paid advertising. And you cannot really say, I'm a Facebook ad specialist. You need to know all the channels in and out, right? So switch your more than 50% of your time towards building a stronger understanding, execution level capabilities. Spend a lot of time on forums where people talk about these things, right? Because when you're working for a business, you can only solve limited amount of problems. But as a marketer, you can always learn a lot from others. So as much as time that you can spend on different communities where performance marketers are hanging out, you will actually develop a very good understanding within 6 months to 12 months time. Then you can specifically apply for the roles that is calling for performance marketers with 2 to 3 years of experience, right? But execution level understanding is very important. The one problem that I see, I meet a lot of youngsters. A lot of them, when I say youngsters, I'm not too old, but I'm talking about 21, 22-year old, right? Straight out of college and trying to get into marketing. They say, I want to be in strategy. I don't want to touch dashboards and stuff like that. There's nothing like that. Okay. You need to have hands-on expertise, which means, even if you have like 15 years of experience, I think there is 12, 13 years experience performance marketers as well. You need to be hands-on, right? Even 10 years down the line, you should know, you should be able to open your dashboard, break open problems, identify how to fix problems, how to reorganize stuff, how to spot an error in analytics, how do I fix it, how do I notice a trend, and how to spot trends, and how to identify opportunities. You need to be hands-on, right? There is no way out. Strategically thinking, you will eventually get that from your experience by working with a lot of different brands, solving a lot of problems. But you cannot really switch away from having hands-on experience, right? Which is something that is mandatory. So if you're young and if you're thinking, I want to be strategy, don't want to be touching dashboards, this may not be the right career for you. Yeah, then you should probably switch to consulting. No offense to consultants.
Yes. So what is your next big thing? As this is kind of a personal question, like what is the Deepan Siddhu's next big thing? Like, what are you working on right now?
Okay, good question. I finally moved on from the agency world, and I've been, working for a technology brand. I've been very specifically building my interest towards SaaS, right? So probably in the next 2 to 3 years, you will find me in the SaaS world, right? Building and growing SaaS products. That's my immediate short-term goal. But long-term vision, I have this really strong opinion that India still hasn't produced extraordinary marketers. India is not very well known for marketing knowledge, but it is not like we don't have people. We have enough talented people, who is actually running a lot of marketing engines of US organizations sitting out of India. It's just that they don't come out and talk. But I see that trend is changing slowly. A lot of people are outspoken. They're coming out and sharing their knowledge with the world. I actually want to put India on the global digital marketing map, where India becomes a source of knowledge, where we create our own experiments and we share our knowledge with the rest of the world, where Indian marketers are looked up to rather than looked down upon, which is a common scenario. If you spend a lot of time in forums, you would understand that we don't really carry a great reputation out there.
Yeah. You have worked also with Neil Patel Digital India. So what was your experience over there, and how it is different from the other agencies? So yeah.
Not much. It is. I had a lot of respect for Neil. Neil and we go a long way. In fact, I grew up in marketing career, reading stuff that Neil had been putting out, right? And he was the OG around 2012, 13. That's the respect that I had for Neil. Then as soon as they decided to open up Neil Patel Digital in India, I said yes. But it was just another agency. When you're an agency in India, there is, when we launched, we launched it with a very different objective, that we want to be different, but we ended up becoming just another agency, which is something that I didn't expect, right? So I had to move on from Neil Patel Digital because of this very thing, that if it is an agency, just like any other agency, then I might as well work for an Indian agency. I went back to Vibenza, which is where I spent most of my career in, right? So that's a very short story. But I really liked it, as long as, because I really built my core capability in SEO. Earlier I had a very superficial understanding of SEO, but after working with Neil and his team, I really built a strong understanding of SEO, hands-on expertise. So that added to my personal skill set a lot. But yeah, just like any other agency in India.
Right. So, do you think people living abroad to learn about marketing because they don't have the right education in India, or what is your feedback on that?
I don't like that thought at all. Where you have to go somewhere to learn marketing.
Okay.
In fact, I've dissuaded a lot of people who had that option in mind. Hey, I want to go to UK, I want to go to Ireland or Singapore to learn marketing. No, you don't have to. A college is a college anywhere you go. Okay,
Especially from the place where
US.
I come from, Kerala, most of the people go abroad in learning, and they learn very broad, like MBA in marketing, which I
Exactly. I
from
mean, you
marketing.
don't learn anything from academicians.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very simple. I completely hate that ecosystem. Maybe I didn't have the right academician's mindset, but I haven't really come across any academician who is strong. What's happening in the industry. They're totally detached from what is happening in the industry. Right, the modules are outdated. The classic marketing tactics, what happened 20 years ago, what Amul did 30 years ago, and all, they're good at coaching you. But the not a lot of that is relevant to you, because the same piece of information is available online to you today. It's
Yeah.
just that a lot of young folks, I tell them, if you want to go, have fun, go,
Yeah.
but don't go in the hope of learning marketing,
Yeah.
right? If you really want to learn marketing, that the only way to learn marketing is by practicing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are better off joining an agency at an entry level, work with a really good team, a really fast growing. Don't join some big agency where your role is extremely restricted to just making reports or following a checklist and just doing that day in and day out. You'll get fed up of that. Okay, join a fast growing agency which will give you that opportunity to explore your wings. Even if it doesn't work out for you, they will give you another opportunity, right? So I always advise people to go join an agency, till you figure out what is really working for you, which is that industry that is fascinating you. Because the moment you step into an industry, let's say you're going into healthcare, into hospitality, into real estate, you'll get stuck. Only the other real estate companies will hire you. Only the other insurance companies will hire you. Very rarely people get out of this industry, even if they want to, right? So be in an agency as long as you want, till the time you have made up your mind that this is it, this is the industry that fascinates me the most, this is the industry I want to spend the rest of my life with. Then make that move. Yeah, don't pick up an MBA course, don't go abroad to learn marketing. The only way to learn marketing is by practicing it, or by reading good books that has been published by a lot of legendary authors out there. If you want to learn the history of marketing, how marketing has evolved over a period of time, even for digital performance, which is the marketing today, there is not anything that is written out there. So you have to only learn from other people who are doing it. Find a mentor as early in your career. I always say that there is nothing more powerful than this, than finding a mentor early in your career, right? I know it is very difficult. The moment I say you mentor, you'll be thinking of Swiggy and Flipkart and Amazon, right? They will have 1,000 emails coming to them asking them to mentor them. Find somebody who is just growing. Find a brand that is just about taking that leap, right? There are so many companies out there. India has like thousands of companies. You must be following a lot of brands, right? And if you like any of those brands, you must be buying those products. You can ask those marketers to mentor you, right? Instead of going after the most popular marketers, with heavy branding out there, right? I'm not saying they won't mentor you, but they won't have time, and they will have 1,000 requests. Your request to get mentored can get ignored, potentially ignored. So don't go by the tags of companies that they're working for. If you're using that product, if you like their marketing, just go reach out to them on LinkedIn. I'm sure they'll be happy to give you like an hour, two. That's more than sufficient early in your career. If you get 1 hour of theirs in a month, that's more than sufficient, to put you on the right path, to your marketing career.
Great, great, good, great. So, you might have some fresh thoughts on SaaS as you have just moved your career from agency to SaaS. So,
Yeah.
what is that? Some of the fresh thoughts you have. How is your experience in working in SaaS?
Right. So, what I love the most about SaaS is not really B2B, right? Uh, so, it is actually a best combination of B2C and B2B. So, you have on the extreme side, you have extreme left, let's say if you have B2C where you're selling to consumers. On the extreme right, you have enterprise B2B, or selling to bigger organizations, right? In SaaS, especially when you're a growing SaaS brand, you're very likely selling to a small and medium business or a mid-market business, very small companies, right? And the decision making is much faster in these companies. It's not like like traditional B2B where people take 6 months to 12 months to make a decision. People make decisions in 2-3 days as well. So the beauty of SaaS is it is a perfect combination of B2C and B2B, which means your wisdom about B2B works, right? But your quirks about selling to a consumer also works, which is probably the reason I have made up my mind that at least my next 5-6 years is going to be in SaaS. And that's the most exciting piece as well. The things that has worked in B2C will work for SaaS, and what has worked in B2B also works well for SaaS. When you marry these two, magic happens. I've been really enjoying. I mean, I've been telling people around me that this is the best job that I've had in all these 10 years of my marketing career. It is like so exciting because you're able to deploy anything that you have learned, right? There is no restrictions, no bars hold. You can absolutely go out and do everything that you have learned, and you have the opportunity to experiment it. But choosing the right company is extremely important. Not every SaaS company gives you that opportunity, but thank the community that I am in. It's an amazing company to be a part of.
Yeah, the thing is, even where we are heading as an agency, we want to work in a lot of D2C sector, and people starts asking why D2C, and I give them the answer that only in D2C you get to manage the full funnel, from the scratch to the end customer journey. All the other places you give them the leads, and you don't know whether they call them good right way, or if there is a mistake from their end or your end. So this is one place where you get to manage full funnel, and that's what is most exciting as a digital marketer. Now my next question is kind of a cunning question, but I just wanted to put in front of you because of your experience. What to do when a marketer fails?
What to do? You get back
When
up.
a marketer fails.
See, marketer is meant to fail, right? You can't really escape from failures out there. What is more important is you get back immediately up, because tomorrow is going to be a better day, right? I operate with that mindset because I know for a fact, I keep telling myself today is not your day, but tomorrow is definitely going to be a day, right?
Yeah.
But you have to believe in it. But also important is the ecosystem that you are a part of. I mean, be it if you're from agency, the clients you're associating yourself with have to give you that liberty and freedom to operate, and not sit on your shoulders all the time. Same as if you're working for a company, they have to give you enough liberty for you to experiment. When you fail, they should be okay with you failing. If it is a kind of an environment that is going to criticize you when you fail, that is not the right environment to be a part of. Sitting from where I am, I can tell that quit that company, fire that client, but I'm not everybody will have the opportunity to do so. But if you get an opportunity to find a client, right? If you're in the agency, will find a client where there's a strong chemistry between you both. Even if you work with 5-6 of those clients, that is more powerful than working with 50 clients. Okay, this is something that I've learned very late. I used to have this fascination is close every client, come what may, close every client. That at a given point I had like 100 clients. Okay, but it realized that I was actually enjoying working with only 5-6 of those clients, and we were doing wonderful work for those clients. Be it the creative output, be it the campaign output, be it the relationship. It was actually whenever we got on a call with that client, it was a good feeling, right? It is the same case with the company that you're going to work for. Whenever you get on a call with your leadership, your stakeholders, your reporting manager, it should make you feel good. Even if you fail, you should be openly be willing to talking about those failures and give them that confidence that I'm going to get back again. Okay, we failed this time, but tomorrow we are going to be doing good. So if you operate with that mindset, I don't think anything can stop you, right? So that's the only mindset that you need to have, that I will get back up. I'm going to do better tomorrow. Tomorrow is my day. That's it.
Yeah, I would call experiment is the key when it comes to every marketers. Like if you're not experimenting,
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
It's just that as you go, if you operate with that mindset, and I can vouch you for that because I've been doing this exactly the last 7, 8 years, right? If you operate with that mindset, your ratio of failures will go down. Today you may be a 50-50 thing, but if you keep operating with that mindset, tomorrow, your ratio of failure will come down to lesser than 5%, right? Then you will become extremely confident that you can deal with any problem out there. That's it.
And you might be using a lot of tools when it comes to performance marketing. So what are some of the tools which you think it's very necessary, which help supports a lot in doing performance marketing? So can you tell a few?
Cool. So, good analytics platform is extremely critical. That is a base of everything, right? I mean, you could be using Google Analytics, but if you're in the product world, you need to have a little more nuanced analysis of users, right? Then you might need something like a mixed panel, something like a Clever Tap. If you're
Yeah.
especially operating, if you have a mobile app and stuff like that, right? Then you need a little more advanced analytics platform than just Google Analytics. That is the base of everything, right? Then you need a good heat map tracking platform, right? Microsoft Clarity is free. If you're not running campaigns without Microsoft Clarity, that is criminal today, right? So alternative for Microsoft Clarity is Hotjar. There is something called Zoho Page Sense. Hotjar is superior tool. Microsoft Clarity is equally good, so you can go with one of them. You need to have a good CRM or a marketing automation platform. Without that, again, you will lost track of what is happening to your customers, right? I mean, Shopify out of the box give you a lot of tools these days, right? If you're in the D2C world, but if you're in B2B, B2C, you definitely need to have a CRM where you have a record of customer information. So when I say record of customer information, not just email ID and phone number, when did they enter your system? Do they open your emails? When did they buy what product, right? Did they click on your ad? All of this information is stored about that particular customer. So imagine how useful that data will be. At any given point of time, you should be able to look back on what happened, right? Let's say you're looking at the entire 12-month period, right? On a particular month, your campaigns have done really well and the revenue was amazing. But if you go check your ad dashboard, that will not probably give you a lot of insights, right? In that case, you will have to go spend a lot of time on your CRM to see where exactly did these customers come from, what did they click on, what products did they buy, what campaigns contributed to getting these customers. That information becomes critical, right? Then if you are just a scrappy company with not a lot of investment on graphic designers and copywriters, you need a good AI copywriting tool. Game changer. Not very expensive these days. You have Peppertype, Copy.ai, a bunch of these platforms, right? Today,
Yeah.
brilliant. I mean, their outputs are only getting better and better. It is not going to replace your copywriters, but it is going to make your copywriters more efficient, because copywriters do have the habit, most of them at least have the habit of delaying output,
Yeah.
because they need their own creative freedom. For them to come back to you with a small output, it's going to take a couple of days. Instead, if you use an AI copywriting tool today, like a Peppertype or Jarvis or Copy.ai, you can trigger 100 copies in no time. You can give those to your copywriters and let them make the better version of it. So within the same time frame, instead of 2 or 3 copies, you have 100 different options, right? That's broadly it. If I would say, then it is just the investment in channels. Then probably if you're really scaling, then you need a good platform that can do the reporting very well, right? Reporting is key. Many people look at reporting as just an Excel sheet, but reporting is extremely critical in terms of strategic thinking, strategic approach. What's going to happen next month? What's going to happen next quarter? Your reporting is going to give you, not just, I'm not talking about click and CTR and how is the revenue, which keyword and stuff like that. You should be able to break it down by product. You should be able to break it down by region, by age group of customers, by in terms of repeat value of the customers, in terms of basket size of the customers, right? If you're able to break down your customer segments and look at campaigns that contributed to these customer segments, you can actually take the right calls in terms of which campaigns deserves more of my investment and more of my attention, right? So something like a data box is an extremely powerful platform. Clipfolio. So even if you're an agency, you should definitely invest in any of these platforms. Then comes the competitor intelligence platforms, right? Could be most of them are free, right? SimilarWeb, if you want to just look at referral sources of traffic, is free. Ahref or SEM Rush is a mandatory investment for you, Whether you're a marketing for a brand or you're an agency, ahref or sem rush is a mandatory investment. Yep, that's broadly it. The minimum set of tools that you would need, to run a successful performance marketing campaign.
Great, great, great. So that's all of thought I should get information and deliver to our audience. So thank you so much, Deepan, for accepting. I never thought you would accept. I just thought, okay, I've like my VP. I just had a discussion with my VP, like, okay, I want Deepan to be part of our podcast. And so Emil told, I think he do not have much followers in Instagram, so just message him, he might see your message. So just check, and I've done that, and you were very humble to accept the invitation, and we were very happy, and we were looking forward for this. So thank you so much for the invitation, and I yeah, that's it. I mean, thank you so much for
Yeah,
accepting.
thanks for having me here. I really enjoyed our conversation, Harris, and then good luck to you, to your initiative and your agency. Keep growing.
Thank you, thank you. And yeah, we were also thinking, we are like starting an institution for in Kerala here for digital marketing, and we were also thinking to have you as a guest lecturer, and we'll be putting you a mail of like 1.5 hour, 2 hour a guest lecture for our students. That would be great. So we'll be putting forward you a mail, and you can reply to the mail according to your time and everything. So that'll be great for us.
Sure.
And yeah, thank you so much. We still going through your courses, and it helps us a lot when it comes to decision making in various channels, specifically as we start working in a lot of D2C sectors. So thank you so much. Looking forward. I'll share when we launch this podcast on YouTube and Spotify.
Sure thing, Harris. Stay in touch, buddy. Bye bye. Take care.